Hello, humans and future AI overlords. I'm here to talk about artificial intelligence. Earlier this week, Apple had their worldwide developer conference, and it was pretty impressive. I'm still digesting a lot of the information, but I thought I'd start a conversation about this approach that Apple's taking with AI. So, Tim Cook started the section on artificial intelligence talking about it as personal intelligence. And I thought this was very meaningful. It's a very much a different take on AI. The focus was on the personal intelligence to be a powerful assistant to users in what matters most. And that I feel like is really important. A lot of the AI technology out there today is amazing and mind blowing, and I love it. But you have to give it lots of stuff to get stuff back. It doesn't feel as integrated into the experience. But I know we're only a year and a half in. A lot of things are going to change. There are some incredible experiences, but I really felt like this shift and the way that Tim Cook was framing AI at Apple was really cool. So intuitive and easy to use. That's a very Apple focus, and it's just a great focus to give easy, intuitive technology to people. I mean, deeply integrated into product experiences. So this is, basically saying that we're not providing like another Chat GPT, a Google Gemini, Copilot. We're integrating AI into the tools you already use every day, and that is really cool. I mean, we are seeing AI integrated in lots and lots of things, but my thought around the way Apple tends to approach technology is they next level the solutions that they build into their environment typically. So now this is where I found it to be really powerful. Understand you grounded in your personal context. Understanding your routines, your relations, your communications. This is where the AI, in that it has an understanding of you, can act on your behalf and help you in the context of what you do in your task or what you're attempting to do. So to me, I feel like this is, a huge difference in what I've seen AI tools kind of doing. So anyway, and then of course, build with privacy from the ground up. That is very much an Apple focus, and I love it. And it's one of the reasons that I really appreciate the Apple platform is their focus on privacy. So I thought Tim Cook did a really excellent job talking about AI being personal intelligence, which I found to be, like Apple does, they create their own language with things, but this felt like really meaningful because today there's still lots of issues with trust and accuracy with AI. So making it personal could really help with a lot of those issues. It also could be a profound problem, but let's lean towards the positive. All right, so Apple's vision for AI, their focus on the user experience. They want to use it to make their software better, simplify the way tools work, make it more productive for us as users, make those interactions seamless. Continue to give us that privacy and security that we expect in the Apple ecosystem, which is great. And then practical applications. So tools that we use every day, whether it's working with photos and videos, writing emails. It's very tactical things that you do every day, very practical, tactical things, which is great. And then integration with hardware and software. So one thing I love about Apple is, they integrate like very few people, their hardware and software and services. So this focus is clearly very much in line with how Apple approaches this. But I feel like the vision that they've had for AI is still very much a part of what they're attempting to do. So they announced Apple Intelligence. I remember thinking to myself, okay, AI, Apple Intelligence, totally get it, makes sense. So, Apple's vision for AI is centered around creating intelligent features and services that seamlessly integrate into their products and enhance the user experience. They prioritize user privacy and security while developing AI capabilities that are practical and helpful in everyday life. This is clear, it's focused. I love it, it's awesome. And I can totally get behind this. This feels real and practical and beneficial to me. So I feel like this has clearly been really well thought out. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that Apple's taking their time to figure out how they're going to actually leverage this in their world. So Apple Intelligence is Apple's approach to AI, and it's going to be interesting to see how this manifests in the real world. You can't bank on promises from tech companies. Marcus Brownlee talks about that, and I love that focus. But these announcements are huge, and Apple will give us something this summer in the beta, and then of course the new products coming out later in the fall. But so in the Worldwide Developer Conference, they talked about capabilities, architecture, and experiences. So I'm going to go into a little bit of that. So capabilities, deep natural language understanding. So, and that's one of those things where, sometimes using an AI, they all talk about prompting, better prompting. If you can't interact with it naturally, if you have to build and have like a crazy prompt to get what you need done, that is not ease of use. So, and while we've had smart assistants, I mean, Google Assistant has been amazing, and I've loved that tool for years and years because it feels like natural language is really good. When you talk about Siri, that's like the flip side. That's the dark side of the experience. I mean, I gave up on Siri. It's been around for 13 years, and I have barely used it because every time I used it, so disappointing. But the possibility of them enhancing that, but natural language understanding, I feel like that is really cool. And they talk about it doing things like prioritizing notifications, helping you with your writing tools. So that's really cool. Image generation. I mean, text to image is incredibly popular. Creating images, in messages and conversations, making personalized, Genmoji and things like that they've talked about. Action orchestration. So automate tasks across apps to save time. Now, this is, I think, something that Apple can do. The Siri shortcuts are something that I do use for different things, and the more I use it, the more I like it. And I think having an AI powered version of that really enhances that action is going to be very helpful. But having that tight integration that Apple has with their hardware and software and apps and services, it's one of those things where you want to have your AI do things for you. You don't want to hold its hand every second of the day. You want it to do stuff on your behalf, things that you need it to do, things that are important to you. But anyway, and then the whole personal context awareness. So it knows information about me to help me get stuff done. So I feel like from a capabilities focus, this is excellent. Architecture. So this is one of those things where, all the AIs that I've been playing with are typically, most of them are processing in the cloud. There is some on-device processing, but there's not a lot of clarity on what's on device, what's in the cloud. Apple's making that really explicit because clearly there's just not enough compute on device and not enough information on device to do everything on device. And I know that's very much an Apple thing to be on device, I'm really excited about their approach to this. But anyway, hardware software integration. I mean, yeah, and then they're going to be using all their advanced silicon, which is great. So all that compute power that they've been baking into their their M chips. I mean, that it's going to be great. All the NLP capabilities, stuff like that they've been embedding, AI capability they've been embedding in there. I mean, it's going to pre-rec some of this hardware, which is interesting. And then they talked about private cloud compute, and this was where I thought things were really interesting. So this is where you're moving into the cloud but you're doing it in a very Apple secure, privacy and security oriented way. We're so used to our iPhones, our iPads, our Macs having that Apple security bubble around the device. And that's one thing I've absolutely appreciated about the Apple platform, having that privacy at the core. On-device processing with no data collection has been their kind of focus, but in that AI won't be able to do everything on device. um, Apple Intelligence will then, when it needs to, divert stuff into its private cloud compute. So only requests that it needs to do will go there, and only the data that it needs will go there. So this will be an Apple cloud where they will extend the protection that we get on our phone into that environment. Nothing will be saved there. It's really, I felt like their approach was so smart. Um, Independent, verifiable, results about this. I think that's really fantastic. The cryptographic verification. That these servers are publicly logging these software inspections. I feel like there's lots of companies that make the promise of different SOCs, behaviors and things like that. But that Apple's going to make that integrated into its process, that it will not send data to environments to servers that have not validated and publicly logged their inspections and stuff, which I think is really cool. So it's going to be interesting to see how this rolls out. But I was really curious how Apple was going to handle its privacy issue, where doing everything on device is just not possible. So extending that security beyond the phone into the cloud is very exciting. I know that's probably got to be a huge challenge, but they're using their silicon, their servers, to make this happen. And I think that sounds really great. So the Apple Private Cloud Compute is a groundbreaking cloud intelligence system designed by Apple specifically for private AI processing. It aims to extend the industry leading security and privacy of Apple devices into the cloud, ensuring that our user data that's sent there is not accessible to anyone other than the user, not even Apple itself. And that has been Apple's kind of privacy promise. And in that they're doing that in the cloud is very exciting. So I'm really excited about that shift. And so their focus on privacy preserving environment, protects our data, encrypts it, ensures that it's in isolated environments, that it doesn't retain it. When it's done using it, it's gone. It will use on-device processing when possible, but it'll minimize the data it shares with the cloud. But there's going to be times when you're asking it to do some super complex computational thing that it needs the cloud to do it. Secure Enclave, this is the hardware that Apple uses to store a lot of our the security module to protect our user data, encryption keys, and stuff like that. So they're leveraging the Secure Enclave that's been their hardware security solution for a while. Independent verification. So Apple plans to have privacy protections verified. So in like that, our Apple phone image is something that people can evaluate, and as it changes and evolves, it can be reevaluated for security issues and stuff like that. I love that they're having this approach, this independent verification. So that's very exciting. So in a world where our phone and our technology is so tied to who we know and what we do and data about us and things like that. It's so important as stuff gets moved into the cloud. It's a little scary. It is definitely scary when you think about historically we've had a lot of our data from social media move into the cloud and be leveraged in ways that we didn't want. But I like Apple's approach to really secure our content. So experiences. Now, I'm not going to dive too much in this, but they did showcase some examples about making Siri, totally redesigning Siri, making it conversational, more natural language. It will be great to leverage an intelligent Siri. I have just not. In fact, I replaced Siri with ChatGPT APIs because I couldn't just. I mean, it wasn't beneficial to me, and a lot of times I'll just use Google Assistant on the on the iPhone. But anyway, and a lot of times too, I'll just use a chatbot like Gemini, on the device as well. So anyway, um, writing tools, these are typical: rewriting, proofreading, summarizing. We've seen that in Gemini workspace, in Microsoft Copilot. So these writing tools will be integrated into the platform. And then I mean, it's cool. I mean, Apple's got some crazy emoji focus. I mean, they do emojis and stuff, but the Genmoji thing, it looked cool. I was more excited about Image Playground, and creating images. I had access to Dolly early on. The light bulb didn't come on for me until a lot later, after ChatGPT came out, when I started really using a lot of the text to image. But I'm kind of sad at the limitations around the types of image they could create. It was like an animated, a sketch. Like no photorealistic stuff, which was kind of a bummer. But the tool looked cool. The Image Playground tool looked cool, and that it'll be integrated into apps that you use on your various devices. So, Image Wand. Um, Hello, this sounds a lot like Google Magic Eraser, but hey, yeah, the enhanced photo editing capabilities, like removing stuff from the picture. But hey, Apple's got to do something that's like an important capability that people do in their photos, is getting rid of those background people, or whatever. But anyway, natural language photo video search. We're all pretty leveraging natural language to look up our photos. And doing it inside of videos too is pretty exciting. But that's definitely become like very much a natural part of the way we use tools. Now, I've never used memory movies, and they showed a demo where the time it would take is just a fraction of the time to create memory movies. So I might try this out if I have an AI that can help me do it. Because if I can create like stories and stuff inside, using pictures and stuff like that to do it, it looked pretty sweet. So that experience looked very interesting. But it looks like some of the capabilities that Apple's bringing to the device are things that are kind of already available. There's some Apple takes on it and stuff like that. But it's very much like things that I'm already doing today with Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini Workspace. It's a lot of that, kind of productivity stuff. But I'm glad that Apple's going to have it. So I'm excited about that. Now, one thing I thought was cool was that they're going to integrate with ChatGPT, and they showed that ability to leverage ChatGPT. But one thing they mentioned in passing was other AI models in the future, integration with other AI models in the future. So this, because I'd heard they were talking with Google, and they were talking with OpenAI and stuff like that. So what I've read since this week is that you'll opt in to leveraging with this integration. So if you've got like a GPT Plus account, you'll be able to leverage that plus capability inside this environment, or just use the free ChatGPT versions. But imagine, they're just, I mean, I think they're going to kind of be Switzerland and probably leverage whatever AIs out there that are great. So it'll be interesting to see if Gemini could be integrated in this. So, it's going to be interesting. You'll have the option to opt in to integrate with the free ChatGPT, or use your pro version, and then other AI models in the future. Hopefully Gemini. Maybe some others. I'm sure they're in talks with every vendor out there. Now, this is coming to your Mac. It's coming to your iPad. It's coming to your iPhone. It's very exciting stuff. It's going to be available in iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia. It's going to be in a beta this summer, with more languages to follow. I'm excited. I can't wait till the beta comes out. I really want to try it. It looks like it's got some cool functionality. I'm a little bit nervous, because this, it's one of those things like Apple announces some stuff, and then, sometimes they don't deliver it at launch. You see it 6 months later on Christmas, and it's a little annoying, these delays that seem to be happening with functionality, core functionality. But it's going to be interesting to see how this, works. I'm really shocked that basically they're limiting like M1 devices for like MacBook and Macs, Mac Mini, Mac Studio, Mac Pro M2 Ultra, MacBook Air M1, iPad Air M1, and later iPad Pro M1. So you got your iPhone 15, A17 Pro. So they're really, limiting the devices you can use. So basically, um, you know, a lot of people have to upgrade. So you will not be able to leverage a lot of this Apple Intelligence on older devices. So this was a little shocking. I mean, is it an upsell technique that Apple seems, it just feels like Apple does a lot, or is it truly a hardware issue? I'd be a little shocked because it feels like the processing power of a lot of the chips that Apple's done, is the processing power is beyond what we need. And anyway, but we'll see. We'll see how this works in the real world. They talked about Apple Intelligence being the AI for the rest of us. And the AI for the rest of us thing, I don't know, it bugged me. I don't know why. It just felt like there's, I mean, people have, when ChatGPT came out, November 30th of 2022, and they had 100 million people in a couple months. It's kind of amazing the speed of adoption, but AI for the rest of us, like we're not already using ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot. Um, I mean, most people I think are using AI in some facet. There are still definitely groups of people out there that are not aware or not thinking about it as much. But it'll be interesting to see how Apple embracing artificial intelligence more openly in its platform, how that's going to manifest. I'm sure, like most things, it will supercharge whatever technology focus they have. But anyway, I am very excited about Apple's history with AI. They're leveraging their privacy and security. They're integrating it, with good experiences. It's very exciting. So I can't wait to see the beta. I can't wait to play with it. I can't wait to actually use the experiences and see if they actually live up to some of the great screenshots and demos that they were showing in the session. They look super cool, but sometimes reality and delivery don't always line up. But anyway, thank you for listening. Have a great day and see you in the next video.